Hi there, I'm Debbie, and I obviously love shopping for books. I love talking about books. I love reading books, getting recommendations, giving recommendations. So I thought, why the heck not create a space where I can do all things books. So welcome to my new booktube, Booked with Debbie. So I am super excited to share. I have my TBR cart, so I'm going to go over my January recaps with you guys. I'm going to go over my February TBR and all the things books, so I'm super excited. If you like this, please follow along, like, subscribe, all the things, because I have more book videos coming to you very soon. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with my January recaps because it is the beginning of February and January was a good reading month. So let's get into it. So I have all 6 books that I read in the month of January. It was a great reading month. Your girl works full-time, does all the life things. So I read when I can. I always travel with a book because you never know when you can read. And doing so, I read 6 books. So 2 of them were rereads. I started my month with 2 rereads. I thought it was a good kind of palate cleanser, if you will. So I'm gonna go over them. The first book of 2025 was a little palate cleanser for me. This was a reread, Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeffer. And this one is, the last time I read this, I was in middle school or high school, so it's been quite some time. And it hurt a little bit because it wasn't what I remembered. Now, it's been 10 years probably since I've read this book, and I didn't like the kind of cliffhanger ending. It becomes like survivalist, which I remembered, and I remembered, the asteroid or the meteor, I already forgot, was going to be a thing. It hits the moon, and when it hits the moon, of course, the moon affects the tides, affects pretty much everything, and it becomes survival. How are we going to survive with no food, no electricity? There's tsunamis, and life doesn't just go on. There's catastrophe in here, and I remember that. But I didn't remember the little details that happen with like people moving away. I didn't remember the weird cliffhanger it leaves us on with really not a follow-up book. There's a follow-up to this, but not to this storyline. It's a different storyline. So I rated it 3 stars. And a part of me is sad that it was just 3 stars, but it was a palate cleanser, and I am a very real, raw, if it's a 5-star book, if it's a 4-star book, it deserves it. So I'm so sorry. She's a 3. The next book, my girl, Joanne Fluke. So Joanne Fluke is one of my favorites. As you can see, I have her entire Hannah Swenson collection. And I missed the cozy world of Hannah Swenson and Minnesota and all the things, especially it's January. I live in Jersey. It's been very cold. So I just wanted a little cozy mystery, and I had to go back. So I reread book number 1, which is Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder by Joanne Fluke. And this is it's so good. I give it 3 stars because there's so much to the series. I mean, we're on book 20 something. There's so much, but I feel like there's better books in the series. I mean, her new book comes out sometime this year, and the previous book, she left us off on a cliffhanger. This one doesn't do it, so she gets 3 stars, but Hannah will always live in my heart. So the next one was The Housemaid's Wedding. This I literally finished in like an hour. I just opened it up, read it before bed for an hour. This is the kind of in between book 2 and book 3, so that way we can see The Housemaid's Wedding, as it says here. Quick novella, super short, 70-something pages. It was good, not exciting. What do you expect from a novella? I liked it though. I thought it was okay. Rated it 3 stars because it was just, it was okay. It was a good read. Next is There's Something About Mary by Cody Hall, or Cody Gary. I got to meet her when she came to our Christmas con in Jersey in December. It was so cool to meet her. And this is the second book in the Winters' series, or it's a trilogy. Book 2 talks about the sister to Nick from Nick and Noelle's Christmas Playlist, which was a 5-star read. This one, it was 4 stars. It follows Mary, who is the sister, one of the Winters' kids, and she gets with, the guy. It is a cute, like, rom-com, Christmas time. I feel like you can definitely read this not at Christmas time, though, because it's just very wintry. She falls for the guy that has a kid, doesn't want to fall for her just because he has a kid, and he's been, he's trying to seclude himself, and he works for her parents now, so doesn't want to like ruin that. And it's just so good. It is so good. So she got 4 stars just because I was comparing it to Nick and Noelle's Christmas Playlist. That was 5 stars. This was 4. So then, of course, I had to follow it up with Along Came Holly. And let me tell you, I was so excited for this book. Holly is the Spitfire sister compared to Mary. So she is the 3rd Winters kid. And I loved this book. I loved the Spitfire of her. And I liked that Declan, the guy in this, he's a grouch. He hates Christmas. And we hear about them in this book. We hear their banter in Nick and Noelle's Christmas Playlist. And here it just came to fruition. And it's their story. And, their little rom-com and their banter. And I loved Holly's banter so much. I thought she was sassy. She was, the redheaded sister that just said it like it was. And it was so good. I did give it 4 stars just because I was comparing it to Nick and Noelle. We got to see kind of their story end. We got to see Nick and Noelle's story end, and like little loose things that Cody didn't have to give us, but she did in this book. So I love that. But I told you, I am pretty strict with my 5-star reads. But I did have a 5-star read. This is Gypsy Rose Blanchard's My Time to Stand, her memoir. And I was nervous about reading this because I didn't know. I'm the girl that give me all the tea. I want to know everything, X, Y, and Z. I don't care. Lay it all out. So I was a little nervous for this one that it wouldn't deliver. She delivered on page 3, okay? I mean, this was so... She even says, people want to know. So here it is on page 3. Gypsy, you didn't disappoint. I finished this, I think it was 2 days. It was so good. It was a quick read, and I felt like she was saying her story to me. It wasn't just reading a memoir. It was like her talking. It was casual dialogue, which I appreciate in a memoir. It was just so good. I rated it 5 stars just because I thought it was written very well, liked what it had. But I also rate memoirs typically 5 stars because who am I to say that your story is worth less? So she got 5 stars. My first 5-star read, I mean, of the year, goes to Gypsy. Who would have thought? I went in with, you know, less hope, but it was very good. So these are my 6 books for 2025. And I also have my TBR for February all lined up and ready to go because today, the day I'm filming this, it's February 1st. And I have my little Rolly book cart here. So I'm going to show you all of my February picks, and hopefully I picked 6. Hopefully I'll get to them all. We'll see. All right, so February TBR. The first is The Murder After the Night Before by Katie Brent. I found this just randomly browsing Barnes & Noble. You know, it talks about she can't remember a thing. She has a crazy hangover. Her best friend is dead. She knows she was murdered, but she can't remember anything that happened, but she knows she needs to find a killer. I read a couple pages already, and our main character is a hot mess, and I appreciate that. It adds like a fun, quirky element to a murder mystery, so I'm excited to read this. This will be book number 1. Then I have a couple other random. I wanted to do pink, reddish, kind of Valentine's Day-y colors. See where I was going? So these are not in the order I'm going to read them just because I'm a vibe reader, and if the vibe doesn't match what I'm going to read, I'm going to DNF it. So we're not even just going to go there. So we have Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one is a super sad, I think it's her fiance, her new husband, because they eloped. Oh, he dies 9 days after. It's so sad. But sometimes you need a gut wrencher. And then I've got this one, The Little Bookstore on Heart Lake Lane. I've not read this author before. It is Sarah Robinson. Super cute. It's a mom who, you know, can she find love? She's got a crazy life. She's got kids. She's got all the things. But then a single dad and a widow kind of finds her, and it's kind of their story from what I can gather. So I'm excited to read that. Plum Tea Crazy. I got this $7 apparently, and this has been on my TBR shelf for a while. Probably needs to be like dusted or something. This one's by, I think, Laura Childs. Yeah, Laura Childs, Plum Tea Crazy, and it's a guy that dies, and they think he was pushed because he was fallen from his death. They think it's an accident. Some think it's a murder. What is happening? I'm gonna have to read to find out. Society of Lies by Lauren Ling Brown. This is a Reese's book club pick. Don't hate on the Reese with her spoon. Love Reese. Love Reese's book club. Women empower women, the whole shebang. And this is about a Princeton college reunion. It's a decade since they graduated. They're all looking forward to old faces, reminiscing. But it becomes a nightmare when she finds out her sister is dead. A lot of murder for it being a love month. Again, I'm a mood reader. It comes in waves. And then Tell Me What You Did. I saw this one on Goodreads. This is a new release. I got it day it came out, I'm telling you. Carter Wilson. This is a, I don't know, bigger book. 400 pages. It looks bigger than it is. This girl has a podcast, and she has criminals come on her podcast. They can confess a crime, totally anonymous. And the person that goes on says he knows who murdered her mom, but like he did it, but her mom's murderer is dead. Very excited to read this one because I saw it on Goodreads as a new release while I was, scrolling to all the fun new books that are coming out. And this one just, I don't know, grabbed my attention. And I mean, look at that cover. So ominous. I like it. So these are my February TBRs. Hopefully I get through all of them. We shall see. As we all know, February is a short month, so it feels like it flies by like that. So we will see. If you made it to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for following along. Thanks for listening to me out for however long this video turns out to be. I appreciate it. I'm so excited to create a space where we can all be booked together, booked and busy, reading some good books. So thank you so much. If you like this, please follow, subscribe, click the little bell so that way you get notifications every time I post. And I'm going to be posting more videos, sharing them, and just sharing the love of books with you. So be booked with Debbie, and I can't wait for what this channel is going to become.